Yes, so I'm going to be talking about how the animal movement needs to be building an AI macro culture. So if you've been in the movement for a while, you've probably heard a dozen talks about how the animal movement needs to collaborate more. Different organizations need to be talking to each other more. But seriously, we do need to be collaborating more. And I think in the age of generative AI, the returns to collaboration have never been so large. I want to really emphasize that. So I don't need to tell the people in this room that AI is transformative. It's already changing everything. But it's also exhausting, right? I try to keep up to date with all the latest developments, what's going on with Gemini and Claude and Grok and OpenPause and all of these organizations. Developments are happening so quickly. It's impossible for any one person, for any one org, to keep up to date with everything. Right? There is no like book that you can go to and find all the best AI use cases for your organization. And even if there was that book, it'd be immediately out of date. So the way that the movement is going to figure out the best way to use AI is through constant experimentation. Everyone needs to be experimenting constantly. And more importantly, we need to be sharing our wins and the things that we learn with each other, not just with people within our organizations, but across organizations, right? If you discover something cool, the odds are another organization would also really benefit from that, and they could do some really amazing stuff for animals too. So we need to be sharing those kinds of things. We can't, and it has to be everyone, like all of you. Even some of you might think, okay, well, I don't really use AI tools that much. I'm not really an AI person. But even you need to be experimenting. We can't leave it to what I affectionately call AI junkies. I would class myself as an AI junkie, the amount of YouTube I watch on the topic. But as organizations cannot just leave it to that one person in the org that does AI, right? You can't leave it to outside consultants. You can't leave it to one organization to figure it out. We all have to be kind of doing it together because ultimately, you know your work better than anyone else. So you are best placed to know whether AI can help in your work. And I kind of want to say you actually owe it, at this point, you owe it to animals to shout about your AI wins. We are discovering use cases in our movement that are so transformative, so amazing, that it is, I would argue it's irresponsible. You're doing a disservice to animals by not shouting about your AI wins, sharing them with other organizations, and letting other organizations also share in those wins and take them even further. So we all need to step up, right? Do we have any researchers in the room? Raise your hand. Okay, so many of you will be doing research on behalf of the movement. You might be using AI tools, but you guys need to be figuring out the best way to use AI tools and then teaching it to non-researchers so that every org can unlock the power of research, even if they don't have researchers themselves. Right, who in the room can code? Raise your hand. Okay, so you might have built some software for animal orgs. That's amazing. Keep doing that. But with the advent of AI coding tools, we're now getting to the point where non-coders can also start building stuff, right? But who is best placed to teach them how to do that? You guys are, right? So we can move from just building stuff for the org to also teaching people in orgs who are non-coders to build stuff themselves. And then we all share and scale the stuff that works. Lastly, has anyone built a custom GPT inside a ChatGPT or a gem in Gemini? Cool, perfect, right? So they can be hyper specialized to you. But another way you can use these things is you can crystallize your expertise in a GPT or a gem. So at Bryant Research, I'm a data scientist. I have built a Bryant data visualization GPT. You upload a graph and it gives you feedback on how to improve that graph. In that GPT, I have crystallized all my knowledge and expertise as someone who has built a ton of graphs and visualizations. And by sharing that GPT with other people, I basically allow anyone else to access my expertise, right, without having to ask me. So if you're an expert in anything, build a GPT to crystallize that expertise and just share it with everyone. I don't think you can currently do that in Gemini, but you can do it in ChatGPT. You can build a custom GPT, you can share it with the world, and let the entire movement benefit from your expertise. So something I want to discuss the rest of today, tomorrow, for the people watching at home in the comment section, or if you join Hive, the discussion is on Hive as well, then I want to know what venues or channels can we make to allow effortless collaboration between organizations? Because obviously we're not sharing our wins, we're not collaborating, and that might just be because the infrastructure isn't there, right? Or we're not using the infrastructure to our best, as well as we could, right? So what ways can we make this collaboration effortless, right? And that's it. Thank you. Yes, so I'm the director of data and AI at an organization called Greener by Default. We use large language models to help institutional caterers institute plant-forward menus. We use a lot of AI tooling in our work that basically what we do just wouldn't have been possible 3 years ago. So, for example, you can use ChatGPT to classify catering items like DBLCHXBGR is double chicken burger, right? If you upload that to ChatGPT and say, this is catering food, what do you think this is? ChatGPT knows, right? So we can classify tens of thousands of catering products into food items, and we can use that to help caterers understand their data a bit more, cut their carbon emissions, make things healthier, and reduce the number of animal products in their mix. So yeah, and that literally just wouldn't have been possible before ChatGPT. Thank you very much.